Hello, friends. It is Catherine Massel. Happy beginning of July and eclipse season, retrograde season. Let's just go ahead and call it that. Full disclaimer right here, right off the bat, that if you are looking to be enabled by these energies, these converging celestial events that are going to be really powerful and potent and intense this month and even through the next 6 or 7 weeks, this is not the call for you. I am here to empower, I am here to enlighten, to help those of you awaken who are already on your journey of awakening. This is not going to be a call where I validate any kind of fears that you have about this energy going forward. And I will also say that if you hear Thin Lizzy or any other classic rock in the background, I do not own the rights to the music. I'm not the heir to a classic rock fortune. So if you hear that music, my neighbors are playing volleyball and listening to Thin Lizzy and whatnot, and that's not my music. So I'm sorry if it's distracting. So we have a lot of converging celestial energies present right now. They're kind of no joke. They're going to be potent. They're going to be intense. I'm not here to say that they're not going to be. Hi, Allison. But if you are playing victim to these energies, it's the same as playing victim to a person, a place, an event, an experience, a trigger in your life. Anytime you are letting something outside of you take your power away or let you live under the illusion that this has the power to take your power away, I'm not here to talk to you about that. That's not my role. That's not kind of the kind of thought leader or way shower that I am. I'm here to help you work with these intense energies and kind of ride the wave or the flow of these energies instead of thinking that they are against you or the universe is against you or God is against you or whatever else you want to play the victim to. Okay, so full disclaimer. That's what I'm throwing down here. So if you want to know how to work with these energies, if you want to be empowered by these energies going on right now and through the next 7 weeks, let's just say, then stick around and listen to this call. So when we're right now in the shadow of retrograde as we speak. It literally, Mercury retrograde goes full retrograde, goes direct on the 7th. So we're in the shadow of it now, but we're feeling the prologue to these energies, right? I'm already kind of seeing miscommunication, experiencing miscommunication, which has been really interesting and entertaining. I'm aware of, as many of you are aware of, the kind of negative polarity that Mercury retrograde can show us. And unfortunately, even our hopefully enlightened and awakened community that we are in, the spiritual community that we are in, there tends to be this really unfortunate tendency to focus on the negative polarity of when these planets, and there are 4 of them right now, and with Mercury retrograde this week on the 7th, that'll make 5 planets in retrograde. And in our supposedly awakened spiritual community, there's a lot of tendency to talk about the negative polarity of these energies when planets go retrograde or when there's eclipses or whatever that is. I want to talk about the positive aspects of that, okay? Now, let's reframe what's going on here, because when we tend to talk about Mercury retrograde in our spiritual community, in the kind of bubble of our spiritual community, I'm just going to go ahead and say it because that's what it is sometimes. We tend to focus on the negative polarity, the negative representation, the dark shadow of Mercury retrograde and how that can inform or shape or guide or direct our lives, okay? Now, these energies don't just come around when it's Mercury retrograde. You can anchor into the vibration or frequency of fear, of victimhood, of blame, pointing the finger, disempowerment, any old time of the year. You don't have to wait for Mercury retrograde to do that. So if you are focused, hyper-focused on this energy when it is Mercury retrograde or solar eclipses, we have a full solar eclipse coming up in a couple days. If you're focused on all of the negative ways that can transmute energies in your life, let's just say everything's going fine now and then all of a sudden everything went to shit because Mercury went retrograde, you are opting in for that disempowerment. Nothing is making this happen. I don't care if Mercury is retrograde or not. You get to choose your destiny, okay? When you are saying that, oh, I'm not going to make any travel plans, or I'm not going to, sign any contracts, or start anything new, start any new projects because Mercury's going retrograde, blah, 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 blah. That's called spiritual sidestepping. And that means that you are not taking full accountability, full responsibility for your life in a really positive way where you're creating progressive forward momentum for yourself, okay? You are opting in for fear, you are opting in for disempowerment, you are opting in for blaming, you are opting in for not taking responsibility for who you are and the direction in which your life is going and where you'd like to take it. So think about it this way, and I'm speaking specifically to those of you who've got like the fire under your butt right now, like I do, to do a lot of stuff. July is just going to be a big, big month because I've decided and deemed that to be so. I am not letting any of the retrogrades, the full eclipse, the partial lunar eclipse, the new moon, the full moon, any of that to dictate to me what my life is going to be like or how I'm going to navigate. I'm not going to say, well, this can't happen to me now because my fourth house is in Cancer and then this new moon is in Cancer and so I can't do this at that time. Stop it. Stop it right now. You can't claim to be spiritually woke and then feel like a complete victim to these energies at the same time. That is the epitome of spiritual sidestepping, and it is hobbling your progressive forward growth, okay? I'm saying this out of mad respect, out of pure love, and a desire to empower rather than enable you, okay? For those of you who feel like I do, that there is just a lot going on this month that you want to do, things you want to tackle, projects you want to do, I'm not letting it stop me. I'm leading a group mentorship starting mid-August. I'm already signing up people for that. I'm getting client applications for that. That's starting something new and something much bigger for me. Am I afraid of it because of what could go wrong? No. Because I decide to frame this as, well, okay, just because Mercury retrograde or whatever these retrogrades or whatever this full solar eclipse is doing, if anything, it illuminates everything that I am not and shows that in very, very stark relief and great detail so that it's right in my face and that I can't deny it anymore. I can't deny where I'm holding myself back. I can't deny or be in self-delusion about what I'm pretending not to know anymore because it's right in my face. If anything, these energies lend themselves to that level of self-awareness and self-discovery. So I say to myself during this time, okay, well, there's all these things happening, all these converging celestial events. I could focus on the fear of what could go wrong with all of this, or conversely, I can say, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? If anything, I'm going to be shown everything that I am not, everything that I don't want, everything that I don't desire to keep creating for myself or to keep looping in like a cycle for myself. That's going to be shown to me very powerfully, very potently during this time, these next 6-7 weeks. From that contrast, I get to course correct. I get the opportunity to make a different choice. I choose to focus on these energies instead of being Chicken Little and saying the sky is falling. Okay? A lot of us are talking about, I'm the goddess of my life, I'm the empress of my domain, all of this stuff, I'm woke as fuck. Okay, well, there might be someone in your life who you won't let them treat you like a doormat anymore, but at the same time, you're playing victim to these celestial energies saying, I'm not going to do this, I can't do that, it's a wrong time to do this, whatever. I'm going like full bore. I'm actually, to be quite honest, doing things this month that scare the hell out of me, but I know that, and I trust that, and I have so much faith in the fact that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the next level shit for me, and this is what I need to be doing now to move my life forward and make the bigger impact that I made a vow with myself that I'm here to make. That I've made a vow with the universe that I'm here to do, here to make. That I'm here to lead people forward in light and empowerment, not disempowerment and enabling. That's not me. I'm not a hand holder as you walk over hot coals. but I will hold your purse or I will hold your beer while you go and kick some ass. That's the kind of coach that I am. I hold myself to that accountability, so I do the same thing with my clients. And so that's why I'm saying this to you now. You get to choose how you're going to let these energies inform the direction that you're taking starting right now and going into the next 6, 7, 8 weeks and further on down the line, okay? It's entirely up to you. You want to keep playing the victim and pretend you're not? That's up to you. You want to say, I don't really care what's going on with the planets. I have this to do. And the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to learn something. I'm going to gain some intuitive insight. I'm going to gain some wisdom about who I am and who I'm not. I'm going to get to course correct from my mistakes, failures. Hint, hint, there are no mistakes, there are no failures. There's only opportunities to course correct and remember who you are, to become more of who you are. And we only do that through our quote-unquote perceived failures, the things that don't go as planned. We have opportunities to learn so much about ourselves in those moments. But are you going to be present and awake and aware to that over the next 6, 7 weeks while this is happening? I know I am. Allison says, boom. And I want to put this to you. Those of you who really feel like you're on the cusp of bringing something bigger forward. You are birthing something into being. Maybe it's incubating, percolating within you right now, and maybe it's just an idea. Maybe you've just got broad strokes. Maybe you've got the scaffolding of something bigger that's ready to burst from you. But you're kind of hedging your bets and waiting for this energy to blow over or whatever. I got news for you. These energies, these convergence of energies that happen celestially are only going to get bigger. They're only going to get bolder. They're only going to get more intense. So are you going to keep putting your life on hold while these things are happening before you wait to birth something new? I'm not. I can't. I have too much to do in this lifetime. I'm called to too many things. My soul is screaming for a greater self-expression, a highest expression for me in this lifetime that I can start fulfilling now. Why wait? Why wait for Mercury retrograde to blow over? Why wait for my moon rising to be in the right house in my astrological chart? I don't know astrology very well, can you tell? So I'm just making stuff up. But you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. Yes? You get to decide. Do you want to empower or enable yourself? And those of you who are really feeling called to something bigger, your next step, that next level, where it scares you a little, maybe a lot, but excites you even more, I'm talking to you specifically right here. Do you think that Oprah or Richard Branson or Bill Gates waited for Mercury to go out of retrograde before they started kicking some ass and making their lives what they are today? No. The quick answer is no. So don't hobble your own growth by stepping into an old you that believes that there's more to fear than there is more to grow into. Because we have a lot of old paradigms collapsing because certain timelines, sorry, I got pollen in my eyes, certain timelines are closing out. And a lot of the timelines that are closing out have a lot to do with where we have feared things in the past, where things that felt unknown or unfamiliar or uncomfortable for us, there's going to be the tendency to go back to that during this retrograde season, this eclipse season. But if anything, an eclipse is where we shine a light on all that darkness that is just below the surface, that maybe we weren't privy to before, we didn't see before. But it has such a light shined on it during this time that we get to see it in stark relief, in really, really big, bold detail, and say, there it is, there's that fear, there's that old way of being, and you're going to get to choose. Do you want to step back into that? You want to step into that old way of being? Or do you want to walk a different path? This is what's going to be presented to you this next 6, 7 weeks. Decide in the way that your highest and best self would decide. Don't get into a boundary war between your higher self and your ego. Just vow to yourself right now, you're going to follow your highest and best self's drive, whatever that is, where you feel that speaking to you in your body. Sometimes it's your heart, sometimes it's your belly. Where do you feel that highest field of intelligence within you speaking to you? Is it from the heart? Is it from the belly? Is it in your third eye? Could be your big toe. I don't know. But listen to that part of your body. Let go of where you feel the need to listen to your inner critic, your inner judge telling you to stay right where you are. There's so much awakening for you, opening for you. But if you are hobbled by these energies because of a fear of what could happen, you got to ask yourself, how long are you willing to keep playing the victim? How long are you willing to stay right where you are? And what's the payoff? Because sometimes, when we're really honest, there's a payoff to staying right where you are. What is that? And is it worth it? Is it a big enough payoff? What's the opportunity cost of you moving forward? And if you let your imagination run wild, what does moving forward look like? Let yourself feel that. Let yourself envision that. Of that thing you want, that thing you want to be, that thing you want to have. What does it look like and feel like for you to have it? Pretend it's happening right now, as if you're living in it, living as it right now. That ripple effect of that payoff of you stepping into that power will go for years and years and years. I promise you. And where you are staying in this place of self-negation, self-limitation, it's not Mercury retrograde doing it, sweetheart. It's you. You're only limited by you. The buck stops with you. So I hope this has found you well this week and has given you some things to think about. And if you didn't check out my live earlier this week where I talked about the energies of July in general and what's going on, please do check that out. It's here on my page. So I want to wish you all a lot of love, a lot of peace this week, and a lot of power. Bye.